Late Night Love, the podcast where we dive deep into the messy, hilarious, and heartfelt sides of life, love, and relationships. I'm Jazz, she's Lubby, and tonight we're unpacking it all from those awkward workplace moments that make you question everything to the chaos of parenting and the drama of romantic entanglements. It's going to be one of those nights, Lubby.
Uh-oh.
Whether you're chilling in bed or winding down after a long day, grab your favorite drink. Let's get real. First up, we're kicking things off with our life segment. But I did want to talk about because AI is kind of a big thing these days, and AI big topic of discussion in not just our our neck of the woods and kind of everybody's neck of the woods. There's what's the future like? But from my perspective, it's no real different than from going from, shall we say, the pen and quill, to the printing press. Fundamentally, how different is that? You're going to be able to do more in less time. That's what the printing press allowed. And it's the same thing for most AI, at least consumer-facing AI. Forget the stuff that's not going to impact you, the research AI and those kind of things. It's just going to allow stuff to happen faster than it otherwise would have. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
The skills you're going to need are different, but that's always the case. If you're not changing your skills, if you're the person in the 70s working in the automotive factory, you're essentially hand building cars, right? In the 60s. In the 70s, it changed to you're a machine operator now more than you are an assembler. And now no one essentially bolts the cars. There's a couple Tesla assembly lines that I think are still essentially humans bolting parts together. But for the most part, cars are assembled by machines that are run by humans. And most of modern manufacturing is still that. There's still a lot of, don't get me wrong, people sewing and those kind of tasks where it's literally cheaper to hire people than it is to get the complicated machinery, maintain it, and keep it running. Especially when you're doing small runs of things, a human can change from one thing to another without any real input. You just start making a new design. A good seamstress, she can just make the next design. She doesn't need to be reconfigured. She just builds the next dress because she knows how.
Yes.
Yeah. So the skills most of us will need will change, right? What's going to happen is the people who use AI, and we've said it here before, but the people who use AI are the people who are going to take your job. It's not AI. Someone still has to take the AI output and apply it to something.
I have found with AI, you have to edit. You have to go through and do a review of something that they put out if I want to pass it along.
Yeah, as we just said here, I didn't edit it. It gives me a good outline. I go through and I take it out and make it sound like me. Sometimes I can do it on the fly, and sometimes I have to pre-edit it, depending upon how good or bad it is. It wasn't very good this week. So, and so I don't remember what my edit was. And so I was trying to re-edit it on the fly. Didn't work. Right? It didn't work because it wasn't quite right. It kind of had things in, but it over explains things. It goes a little long sometimes. So a lot of times I'm taking stuff out more than I am doing anything else. It's more wordy than I am. I don't want to get to the point.
Exactly. I do that too.
And so I take things out,
And AI will add stuff. And I'm like, where'd you get that? Take that out.
Well, there are ways you can limit that, right? If you want it to just analyze and give you things from a specific thing, you use specific AI tools. Like you go to a workplace or to use Google's notebook, depending upon your thing.
Are you kidding? I consider myself a pioneer since I'm using ChatGPT for the last couple months.
Well,
because I was a staunch against ChatGPT.
It's just a tool.
But if I gave it the design, it's a chat buddy for me. That's what I use it for in organization. And just I'm a verbal processor, so that helps me. I can text it out. I think things through. And when I first got on there, I designed him. Okay, this is how I want you to be. This is what I'm here for. This is what I expect.
Yeah, you give it the parameters you want it to exist in.
Right out the gate.
And it'll exist within those parameters, more or less.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, nor should you expect it to be.
No, it's not perfect. It doesn't remember things. It sometimes it doesn't understand my meaning.
Yeah.
For instance, when I say time me, and they say, okay, I'm setting a 10-minute timer. No. Time how long it takes me to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to do like to set a stopwatch or something like
that.
Yeah. Right.
You have to watch your verbiage.
Yeah. You have to learn how to use it. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about AI is you can simply ask it, how do I get you to do this? And it'll tell you, this is what you do to get me to do that. Oh, okay. Can you do that? Sure. That's what it actually, you can literally do that. Yeah. Okay. Can you do that? Yes. But then you have to follow up and tell it to do the thing it just told you.
It's quite literal. Yeah. There are parameters, and but it's a fun little thing.
But like any new technology, it's understandable why people fear the repercussions.
Sure.
Because there's always repercussions for new technology. There were repercussions when we went from, the horse and buggy to the car. Sure, there was no more urine and horse poop all over the roads. People didn't have to walk through that, and you didn't have to deal with cleaning it up. But now you've got cars speeding down the road, and and smog and all the various things that come with that. And nothing you do every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It is true. And so there are going to be consequences. Some of them will be good. Some of them will be bad. There will be consequences. And we will just have to learn to deal with those. And those who can adapt the fastest will have the easiest time. Just as always. Those who can't adapt end up getting left behind because you can't adapt. How much, morally speaking, how much does society owe them? Don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. That's a good philosophical question for us to have, but as a society, we can't have a rational, difficult discussion with no real clear answer. We wouldn't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
Does it mean neither answer is good nor bad? No, because there's things about everything. All right. So the impact of AI, it's the same as any, right? AI isn't any bigger, or, what did the internet do to?
You know what I look at it as? The coming of the computer.
Oh, like Star Trek. Hey, computer. The Star Trek thing.
It's the coming of the computer.
It's not far from what Star Trek's computer was.
Yeah.
Really, it's not all that far from it. As goofy as the answers.
I don't know if I'll see it or not. That would be cool.
It's pretty close. Your ChatGPT is pretty close.
It's pretty close. Yeah, you can do
all kinds of
voice on it if you want to. I don't want to. I don't want to do voice.
Yeah, I know people who only do voice because they don't have to type.
So I do too.
Yeah. So all right. So now I'll go ahead and let's get started with with our live questions.
Okay, I said this before. I'm very interested in your view. Why is peeing in the shower so controversial?
Okay, because there's, in a number of things in life, there's two groups of people, and they do not know the other one exists. Their minds can't comprehend it, right? And peeing in the shower is one of those. You got the scrunchers versus the folders with toilet paper.
No, there's the over and the under.
No. Those are no, because most people just don't care, and the people who care are the ones who argue. Most people don't care; they just slap it on, and however way it goes on, as it goes on.
I'll come into your house and change it if you got it wrong. And
I wouldn't notice because I don't care. I just put it on. Change it if you want. I don't care. Whatever.
But I have in this house.
Yes, but okay, but back to my point. But those people are aware of each other. Those people are fully aware of each other.
Okay, yeah.
These people don't know the other.
I see what you're saying. That's true.
These people don't know they exist. People who scrunch up the toilet paper and the people who fold it. You don't have any idea that these other persons exist, right? Because this is something we do alone.
Yeah.
So you got the scrunchers versus the folders. You got the standers, the people who clean themselves while they're standing versus those who do it while they're still sitting.
Yeah.
So you don't know each other exists?
You don't know.
No, because how would you know?
It's a mystery.
Because how would you know? And the peeing in the shower thing is the same thing.
That's what you know. It's what is known as private behavior.
Yeah. And so how would you know? And in the case of, it's assuming you're hooked up to city sewer, it makes no difference, right? Because it literally all goes to the same spot.
It does.
Yeah. Now, if you are in a septic system, it doesn't always go to the same spot. So, because sometimes gray water, stuff you use from the dishes and cleaning yourself, goes to a different spot than wastewater. Wastewater goes to the septic tank, it gets treated in the septic. The gray water goes to a different filtration system and dumped into the garden or something, right? And you may not want to mix those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you are on city sewer, it gets in the same pipe before it leaves your house.
Okay, now what about germs? Hello.
You're dumping a bunch of soap right down after. I'm assuming the soap is going to grab it just the way soap works. It's not really a problem.
Okay.
It's one of those things. But here's the thing. No one ever has to know because it's one of those things that you do alone. What is it? There's this one comedian, but Kelsey something or another, and she talks about that. Yeah. She's one of the peers. And she thinks everybody does it. No. Most people actually generally probably go to the restroom right before they get in the shower, knowing that the shower is going to kick off the urge.
Yeah, turning on the shower. That'll do it.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't care about either because, there's no reason for me to care. I live in a city. People can do what they want. And if they're on their own septic system, what do I care?
I think if you're living alone, it wouldn't matter. But I think out of courtesy, if you live with people, you should kind of keep your germs to yourself.
I think that it's clean by the time, theoretically, it's sanitary anyway. I mean, it's sterile anyway. And so by the time you're done showering, it's more than washed away. I'm more worried about the stuff on the bottom of their feet than I am the stuff. All right. So what's next?
My Microsoft interview went really amazing. After the interview, I honestly told my recruiter that I have a deadline of tomorrow for another offer. A few minutes later, he said that he can't offer me this time. What would be the reason for rejection?
Because their schedule wasn't going to be pushed. You pushed their schedule.
Yeah.
All you had to do was not tell them. You could have still taken the other job, gone for a week and said, okay, I can't work for, when you're in negotiations with Microsoft, when it got down to the point of, start date and salary, you put it off for a few weeks. So you give your other company adequate time. The companies don't have any loyalty to you when their economics change. So don't have any loyalty to companies when your economic potentials change, right? It's not that big of a deal. You take the other job because this one could always have fallen through.
Yeah.
And if it's a significantly better job for whatever reason, money, location, freedom, whatever your
goals are.
Your goals are. If it's a better job, then you dang well take it because you dang well know that your company will move on from you if it's a better opportunity.
It sure will.
And they should, realistically. I mean, from a company perspective, they can't carry dead weight for long.
No.
Now, if you've been good to them for a long time and you've made them a lot of resources or whatever, they may be willing to carry you for a little while, because when he gets back to normal, he'll be fine. And, but for the most part, they will get rid of you at the first opportunity. Well, not necessarily first opportunity, the first time it makes sense. So move on the next time, first time it makes sense.
It's not personal, it's business.
It's business. It's only business, man. Okay.
What happened to that one coworker at your workplace who suddenly disappeared?
They got a better job, which is what usually happens.
Yeah.
And, because they were a coworker, not a friend, they had no obligation to tell you. You just moved on.
Sorry if you're hurt.
It probably ain't even that. Yeah. I mean, I suppose he could have gotten arrested and gone to jail, never seen that, there's all kinds of, but you usually hear about those things. So
that's true.
So the most often, the ones you don't hear about are the ones who just leave for something.
Quietly got another job. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Send follow-up email after how long?
It depends. Oh, God, what was there's one of these places one of these big corporations that you can go through all their interview things and they won't hire you until you reach back out, even if they want you. So until you send the follow-up email or call them asking, they're not going to hire you unless you do that.
Ooh.
So 48 hours, 72 hours, depending upon what was stated in the
interview.
Yeah. If they say, we'll get back to you in a couple of days, 72 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just reaching back out, hoping to hear from you guys soon. And you reiterate something you bring up something about the interview that you can BS your way into positivity.
Okay, now what about coworkers?
What about?
What about follow-up email to them?
To who?
Your coworkers asking questions. You get swamped after a long weekend. And it takes a while to navigate through. I mean, how long is too long?
It depends on the urgency of that. Kind of depends on the urgency of the response. You got to prioritize, right? So you take care of the most important things first, and you get to the others when you get to them. Sometimes you can knock a couple birds out with one stone. You do that, but for the most part, you hit the most important things first. It's not a matter of how long is too long. It's you prioritize your thing. I prioritize my day kind of before lunch and after lunch. I reprioritize when I get back from lunch. Mm-hmm. My priorities change since the beginning of lunch. Sometimes it has. Sometimes priorities have changed.
Yeah.
And so I have to kind of, reschedule my afternoon. But sometimes I was too lazy and didn't get enough done in the morning or something. Things happen. You're not always as effective as some days you can't wake up and you just move a little slower, or something took longer, or maybe something you thought was going to take 3 hours took a half hour. Now you've got a couple hours left in your schedule going, well, now what do I got to do? Because you had planned this whole day, and I was, oh well, it didn't take very long. That sometimes is harder, right? Because now you've got this whole priority list. You've got stuff scheduled and dealt with for the afternoon. Now you've got a couple hours with nothing to do because all your other projects are, going to, I got anything that's only going to take this amount of time.
No, really.
It's either a whole day thing, all right. So is there any things that 15 minutes, do I have any 15-minute projects? So you go through email looking for 15-minute answers, and I forget to respond to anything, you're just going to check. Although then you start just kind of finding things to do to fill up that time. Then you, of course, stumble onto a problem and think, oh, man, well, darn it. Happened the other day. We had this problem getting computers updated. We thought we got it all solved. One downloaded, so I installed it. The two next to us, the downloads had failed. And the package things expired. It's this goofy Adobe Mac thing. So the download failed, the package had expired. So I had to go back, rebuild the package. All I was going to do was check and make sure these things had worked properly. It was supposed to be 5 minutes. So it really depends. Right? The thing is, respond. Sometimes you do want to manage expectations, so you don't want to respond too quickly. You don't want them to expect you that you're going to respond within 5 minutes all the time, so you wait 30 minutes before you reply.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can manage expectations that way sometimes.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that goes back to the prioritization thing. You're prioritizing, oh, that thing's done. I'm just going to tell them for a little while.
Stretch it out.
No, it's not even stretching it out. It's just, they're going to expect me to be able to get that done in that kind of time all the time now. And things just happen to fall into place this time. So, right, that was abnormal. So I'm not going to set the conditions where they think something that's abnormal is routine. I'm just not going to do it. That's dumb. It's setting them up for failure because now they're going to plan on something taking so long when it's really not. That particular time just happened to be easy or whatever. It happens all the time. All right.
I like looking like a genius.
Yeah.
What? Already? You know.
Yeah. I don't need to worry about that. I am a genius. Okay.
Oh, stop it.
What's next?
Anyone else with 10 years plus experience feel like they're slowly becoming invisible?
Well, because your experience, if your skills haven't evolved at the same time, then your experience becomes less valuable. Many people think that, if their job stays the same and like they keep all the information to themselves, that it job security. No, what it's doing is you're essentially forcing them to have another way around you. It's job insecurity. You're eventually going to get moved on from or left in the dust as everybody else has moved on.
So what can they do?
You learn how to use AI. you
maybe take some classes.
Yeah, well, it's not necessary classes. You got the University of YouTube, AI itself, for the love of God. AI will tell you how to use it. You just ask it. Pick your favorite ones. I use different ones for different tools, but it's not just choose one. But if you're getting left behind, if you feel like you're getting left behind, it's because you are, but it's because you're not moving. Everybody else is moving, you're not. And that's why you're being left behind.
Got to keep those skills up.
Yeah. Well, just not even necessarily keep them up. You just have to evolve with the world around you.
Well, that's what I mean. You have to progress. You have to work on it. Just because you have a job doesn't mean your education is over with.
No, your education is every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
How do I care less about work?
Have something else important in your life, be it a family, be it a hobby that is more in tune. You know why you care a lot about work. There's two reasons. One, you either have an actually genuine, meaningful job. Maybe you're a doctor or a nurse, and so that drives you. And what you're feeling now is just kind of burnout. And you need to be able to turn it off when you get home, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
The other one is you have nothing else, so that's what you're competent at, so that's what you turn to. And because that's what you're competent at, that's what you turn to, and it's just because you've got nothing else to go to. So go find something else that stretches some different aspect of your humanity. Do something completely different. I was in politics. We did this, right?
Yes.
To keep something completely different. It's the same concept. Balance yourself. You've gotten out of balance, so balance yourself.
It's good advice.
Take up hiking. It doesn't matter what it really is. Build toy trains. Something that's completely different from whatever it is you're doing now. And it might take 4 or 5, 6, 10, half a dozen, does.
Try. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna be hit and miss until you find the one.
Hey, you might get lucky and be the first one.
Maybe,
but the chances are it's going to take a handful or more to find something that makes you feel whole.
Yeah,
because you're trying to fill up a hole with work, and something is instinctively telling you that this is bad. So follow that instinct. Balance yourself.
And don't neglect your spiritual life.
Yeah. If church is a thing, start going to church more. Involve yourself in the church. Volunteer. Volunteer is a good way to kind of get yourself regrounded.
Any volunteer. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And if you want to do something completely different, there's all kinds of things that are completely different. If you're an accountant, go to your local media, your public access or whatever, some media things, and take classes on how to produce podcasts or TV shows or be a camera person. Something completely different.
Completely different.
Completely different. But there's all kinds of options. So keep your eyes open. And
there we go.
Yeah. You can also send us, if you want some more options, you can send us questions or your suggestions for what people can do. Yes,
please.
Just send them to love@latenightLove.us.
And we'll definitely share those.
Yeah. Okay.
How to stop employee from coming to my office and taking my drinks. She has water there and she wants it for herself. And this guy comes in, do you mind? Takes it. Doesn't wait for an answer.
Well, the easiest way to deal with that, I mean, if you're not willing to deal with it when he walks into your office and go, yes, I do mind. Hello, what the hell's wrong with you? Right? Be proactive. I mean, and if you're not willing to do that, which they clearly aren't because they would have done that by now.
Oh, yeah.
Then you go talk to whomever his supervisor person is. It's the owner, right? You deal with that. There's the two ways. You either deal with it yourself, and clearly they're not willing to, because if someone who's willing to deal with it themselves would have already dealt with it themselves. I suppose you could get a fridge or a shelf or whatever where you put that thing that has a lock on it.
Put a lock on it.
You could, but
that's a little expensive way to go to be non-confrontational. I mean, even I would.
The locks aren't even expensive, but it's not the point. You're better off dealing with it one of the other ways.
Yeah.
So, but my suggestion is, if you're not willing to say, yes, I do mind, next time the bozo steps a foot into your door, that's the most aggressive way. Yes.
Or here's a good one. That you owe me $1.
No,
I'd charge him.
If he's got a routine, hey, do you mind? And yes, I do mind. Before he even steps, that foot even hits the floor. Out of here. What the hell is wrong with you? But if they were willing to do that, they wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't be sending us a question. You wouldn't be posting a question on Reddit.
Well, that's true.
So the answer is you go to their supervisor or your HR, I suppose, is another question.
HR is another option, but gosh.
Yeah. Well, because go to a supervisor or somebody would be his direct report person.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
I'm the only one. Am I the only one who gets uncomfortable when work rules are blurred?
Sometimes, because some work rules need to be a little fuzzy because people have to have room to make decisions. Right? Judgment calls are a thing, right? You can't. They are a thing, and sometimes, work rules are only there because someone did something really stupid. And so you're trying to prevent a single thing without becoming overly burdensome, right? So I don't know. Work rules are what work rules are. You do the best you can and don't worry about it. It's kind of always been my thing. I don't need no license.
I think most of it is just common sense and being mindful of other people. Yeah, that's all.
There's some particulars, and and that's the thing, right? Individuals have things that they focus on and others don't. And frankly, bosses are what bosses are, and they can kind of do what they want.
Yeah.
And so sometimes rules are fairly arbitrary and you just have to deal with it. Your recourse is to go somewhere else. Take your skills and talents and productivity somewhere else. That's always my case when you don't fit in culturally. It's not to try and change the culture. It's you take your skills, talent, and productivity somewhere else. If you're a good worker, someone else will want you. It's hard to find. Someone will want you.
You can always, you can go for a new job, but what about talking to your supervisor about, asking questions and having them be more clear?
Oh, okay. This is actually a good point. I am right now in the middle of rewriting the employee handbook, right, with the help of the HR people and my boss, right?
Oh, yay. It sounds riveting.
Okay, but everybody knows it. And I've asked everybody's opinion on things, right? Tell me what you don't like about things. Tell me what you tell me. No one says nothing. So if you're not going to say nothing to the person who's actually doing the writing, why they're writing it, I don't want to hear no complaints when we're done.
Oh, they will.
I know they will, but guess what I'm going to hear? I ain't going to hear none of it. Because I asked you. I asked each one of you to come sit down with me and go over the sections that nobody wants to, of course, because nobody wants to. Well,
you don't want to either.
yeah, I don't want to be here.
I don't want to do that.
All right. What's
well, next? I think that's fair. Okay. Doesn't waiting to report a late paycheck benefit me?
Report it to who? Tell your boss that your check is late?
No. Report it to like the state of California. I'm not being paid within
well, a minute of time. Depends how late it is.
Labor board.
I mean, if a day late or two can happen, oftentimes because you screwed something up. Right? You didn't fill out your time card correctly, or the way the freaking payroll people can read it. What am I supposed to do? And then you don't answer your emails, or you don't answer your phone. And then you complain that my paycheck didn't show up on time. Yeah, you dimwit, because you didn't send it in on time. Or you didn't complete it properly, or whatever all the things are. It actually happened just recently. One person screwed up their time card, so the payroll people didn't pay anybody.
Whoa.
Now, luckily, we were a day early, and there was like a holiday, so instead of getting the checks early like we normally would have, everybody got them on time. But the point was, people who were expecting them early didn't get them. Because normally it comes early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't come early. But these things happen, and so you only report them if they're really genuinely scamming you out of the paycheck. And my question is, if your paycheck is bouncing, why are you going back? If they're not paying you, it's not a job. You're just donating your time.
But isn't that theft? If they say we hire you and then you work for them?
Yes, I completely agree. And that you should go seek to get the money they owe you back. But why? There's like people, if you haven't paid me in 2 months, well, why the heck have you gone back past the third? But how did you work 2 months without being paid? The 2 weeks. Okay, work the third. You still haven't given me my 2 weeks. I'm not going back until I get paid. It's.
I think it's fair to do that after a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so on some pay cycles, that'd be 3 weeks. You'd essentially have given them 3 weeks time. So you're not getting more of that out of me. Because you should have if nothing else, you could be sitting there handwriting checks or giving people out cash. You can solve a problem in a couple of days if it's just a snafu, right? Some type of goofy snafu.
Yeah.
And if it's more than some kind of goofy snafu, well, guess what? The doors and wheels are going to come falling off. So I'm getting off the ship. Yes, they owe me money, but I'm not going back and having them owe me more money. Like, what? No. This is a sinking ship. I'm leaving.
That's a sign.
So yeah, I don't understand how people can go. So really, it depends why. If it's just an honest kind of snafu, then you why would you report them?
Yeah,
it's just an honest snafu. Now, if it's more than an honest snafu, yes, you report them, but don't go back. That's what I'm saying. Have no problems reporting them. Just don't go back. Don't give them any more of your time.
Yeah,
please. Stop donating them their time.
Yeah.
For the love of, it's not a job at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an employee that always arrives 30 to 45 minutes early and starts work immediately. What should I do as a manager? He always leaves 3 minutes past clock out and sometimes goes on working lunches. What's best to do? Well, it sounds like you need to just sit him down and have a conversation with him.
Well, here's a kind of a likely thing, right? He takes a bus or he gets a ride or something. So he's there 30, 45 minutes early because that's when the bus drops him off. That's when his ride drops him off, however he gets there, right? That's bus schedule or something dependent. Or he's dropped the kids off. Maybe the wife drops him off, then she goes takes the kids to school. Who knows? That's when his ride gets there because that's when his ride can get there.
Find out what's going on.
And so if that's the case, then have him start his shift half hour early.
Yeah.
Maybe you can let him out half hour earlier. Right? And you cannot allow him to work through lunch. That's
actually illegal.
I keep hammering people on this. Do not eat at your desk for the love of, and maybe he's working in a warehouse or something like that, or some, who knows, whatever. But you cannot allow people to work through their lunch. You just can't. It cannot be policy in any shape, manner, or form. To get the half hour lunch. Now maybe you give them an hour, and so you're giving them officially a half hour lunch. Dude, just go take a walk around the building. For the love of God. The point of lunch is for you to step away from this stuff so you'll be better in the second half. It's football players take a break from It's
called halftime.
Yeah. So take a break. Go take your breaks for the love of God. Now, I'm not a stickler about your 10 or 15 minute breaks. I don't care. Take 3 5s over the course of the day. Take them, unless you're working on an assembly line, right? And
then you have to.
You got to take breaks as a team because that's how the assembly line, generally speaking, works. Mm-hmm. Not always, but generally speaking, that's how the assembly lines work. So the breaks have to be done. But for the most part, take them with 3 5s instead of 1:15. What do I care? It's kind of how I do it. That's why I don't care. Screw this. I don't feel like working. You go take a walk to the bathroom and back, right? You're not going to the bathroom. You're just getting out of your looking at the computer. It makes you better.
It actually makes you more productive.
Yeah.
When you come back. Yeah.
So anyway.
And that was our last question in our life section.
Yeah, so just want to cover that a little bit is, find out why. And you'll probably find out that he's got some type of hard schedule.
Yeah.
And so he's leaving based upon his ride.
Yeah.
And, you can probably accommodate that. Who knows, if he's by bus, maybe, letting him leave start working that 30 minutes early. Let him leave that 30 minutes early. It may actually benefit all of it. He could be able to catch an earlier bus.
Yeah.
You never know, or may help everybody out. So if it's a good employee and you can accommodate it, accommodate it. All right. That was a wild ride through the daily grinds.
Yes, it was.
That was a wild ride anyway. So if you've got your own stories, you can send them to late night love you can send them to love@latenightLove.us. You can go to, it's going to be one of those nights. You can go to latenightLove.us and fill out the contact form, or you can find us on our socials and send us questions and comments.